Rebeka, you're our first student athletic trainer.
Woo.
So yeah, I get to find out a lot of things that I'm not exactly sure about right now. And you know, an athletic trainer is someone that you always see, you know, doing all kinds of different duties, and that's kind of what struck me is your job description would be like 10 pages long, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the different things that you do on a regular basis.
Well, like I'm hydration station kind of. I keep the bottles up and going and everything like that. I make sure that if the athletic trainer isn't in the rehab facility, that I kind of start doing rehab with the players that are in there, and just kind of do that. I'm like at last week's game, I was in charge of the medical bag. So if anyone needs Band-Aids, tissues, anything, I'm there, running out, going to do it. Basically, my job is just to be the right-hand person of the trainer. Like, if he needs assistance on something, I run up, help him do it. If he's on the field with an injured player and says, go get me a knee brace, I run out, go get the knee brace, run back in, do all that kind of stuff.
Are there any sports in particular that you have kind of, it's just more fun for you or more interesting for you or anything like that? Or are they all kind of equally fun and challenging in their own way?
I would say each one's challenging in their own way, but honestly football is probably the most interesting because there's always something going on. Because if you're not, at the line watching everything happen, you're kind of behind the scenes filling up bottles, or you're running back into the locker room to go get someone's mouthpiece or to go get a mouthpiece or do this and that, and you're kind of doing everything. Whereas with baseball, it's kind of you're just sitting there, you're just kind of there for water, and if anyone gets injured or anything like that.
Yeah, in football, do you really ever have a chance to really watch the game, or is there almost always something happening that you're having to attend to?
There's a lot of the time there's always something happening, but if you're on the line, with the bottles, because we have lots of different girls that come out there and help, our 2 years and our first years.
Right.
And they will kind of keep water bottles, and so during timeouts they'll run out to the field and give them water. And sometimes if there's a break, you kind of smush up into the line in between all the football players, just try to see what goes on, and then you kind of have to run back and do something else.
Have you, now that I'm going to ask kind of the not morbid, but just curious, have you had to attend or help attend to a player that's had a really bad injury to the point where it was kind of, whether it was a break or something like that, where you kind of went, ooh, man.
Earlier this year, we had one of the players, his name has escaped me for some reason, but basically I think it was either his foot or his ankle somehow kind of contorted and went a different
wrong
direction.
way?
Yeah, and it was very much, it was the first time that I'd ever seen that happen, and so we were out on the field trying to figure out, well, what do you need this? And then I had to run over to the bag, and then I was like, where is this stuff in the bag? And then we were, yelling and screaming, but it's when something happens like that, you're like, go, go, go.
Sure, the adrenaline kicks in, I can imagine, like crazy. The other thing I want to ask you, and this, we're just going to have fun with this. This isn't, we're not saying anything negative, but it seems like in this day and age, and me being an older guy, it's easy for me to say this, but it seems like kids in some kids, they love to lay down and get some attention when a lot of the time I'm like, they're not hurt, because what happens is when it gets to that point where either you get up and you can still play, or you've got to get out, suddenly they are miraculously cured.
Oh, yeah.
And do you see that up close and personal? Am I right that sometimes kids, you get the feeling that they're not hurt, they just want a little sympathy?
There are some who will say that they have they catch a cramp in the game, they come out and we start stretching them out, and it's really because you can tell when you stretch out someone with a real cramp, you can just see it in their face that it hurts.
Oh yeah.
And then it's painful, but then there's some that they have no emotion whatsoever, and I'm like, you didn't really get a cramp. Like, no.
Right. It's funny how sometimes it seems to me in football when a player gets burned for a touchdown or something like that, where all of a sudden, man, something happened where, you know what I mean? It's almost like the built-in excuse, but that's something that, I know that you get a better look at that than most, so I was wondering about that. What will you miss most about it when you, obviously you're a senior in football, your last football season is getting ready to be over very soon, so what are you going to miss?
Honestly, I'll probably miss just being with the other student aides and stuff like that.
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being together and all of that, because we kind of become a little close-knit family. 2 years ago when we went to playoffs, kind of all of us were up there at VHP, freezing, just kind of huddled together.
Right.
I had brought one pair of gloves, and so we kind of passed around my pair of gloves the whole entire game because we were all freezing.
Very nice gesture, very nice gesture. Well, you're a member of the National Honor Society, vice president of the Beta Club, and a great all-around student, so I congratulate you on doing a great job. Coach Neal was raving about you before you got here this morning, so keep up the good work. Have a great senior year. I know that you're hoping to be going to Clemson next year, so I can tell you that your athletic director and head coach surely appreciates what you do, Rebeka. Thank you so much.
Thank you.